Liverpool Fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool Fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki Man Si. Alrighty, we beat Everton in a Merseyside Derby. Diogo Jota with the only goal, 3 points on the board, baby, and that's all that matters. But we still have a right to be outraged. Not just at the refereeing decisions, but also maybe perhaps the style of play needs a bit of analysis as well, and the decision making, the lineup and the squads. A lot to analyze here. Lots of pros, a few cons as well. So let's get into it. So let's start with a positive. A big shout out to our man Curtis Jones, the scouser in the team, the only scouser in this team at this very moment. Coincidentally at right back, because he's actually played in right back before he started against Leicester in the EFL Carabao League Cup under Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp promised him the captaincy and said, look, I'm going to sell it to you. You're going to start right back, but you're going to be captain for the day. We beat Leicester 3-1 in September 2023, and the rest is history. He can do a job there like James Milner. He can do a job there like Jordan Henderson, and my goodness, he did a heck of a job. And I'm going to show you tactically right now why Jonesy Cujo is a secret weapon at right back that Arne Slot has really utilized effectively for this particular game. So let's look into it. Now, whilst I set up the lineup, right, obviously that wasn't Allister in goal, concussion protocols and all of that. We had Curtis Jones at right back. Remember back in the day, we had the Scouse, Cafu, John Flanagan. Now, Flanagan was a very limited player, went hard in the tackle, not the nicest person off the pitch, in all honesty. But we had the Scouse, Cafu, the red Cafu, right? And even Cafu and Flanagan had a picture together. Let's put all of our players on the pitch. A big shout out to Robbo as well. Played fantastically well. Van Dijk shoved Tarkowski to the floor in the penalty area. Look, I found a clip right here. Special gravy. We had Maka, who was lucky not to get his leg broken by skullduggery from Tarkowski. I mean, literally, even when big Duncan Ferguson, as Evertonian as you get, said it's a straight all-out red card, then you know it's a red card, right? Diogo Jota, the slaughter. A lot of people surprised that he started, considering that he hadn't scored in, 10 games. And we have a better performance with with Nunes up front as well. So let's put Salah. Egyptian King was quite quiet. Is he going to renew the contract negotiations? Yet to be seen. Lucio Diaz was man of the match. I actually think it should be Curtis Jones. So why was Curtis Jones quietly so effective right now? Curtis Jones is a total baller, and the reason why Curtis Jones is more Cafu-like than Trent Alexander-Arnold is because Cafu could not spray the ball around like Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Cafu was a better defender, more mobile, and super, super comfortable in the ball. Maicon, Dani Alves, Cecinio, Cafu, the list goes on and on. Carlos Alberto, right? The list goes on and on about right backs in Brazilian football who are comfortable with the ball, and we know Curtis Jones is super comfortable with the ball. He could play in midfield. He often plays in a Maka role. He could play in the Luis Diaz role. He plays left wide as well. He could play attacking 10 as well. Super comfortable, great touch, press resistance on the most part. But what it allowed us to do is really send a Robbo down the line into the line of 6. Really, really effective in that regard. Curtis Jones almost acted as the base of midfield. We almost had that power square at the back, as you do when you resort back to in a low block with that square. Come beat us, doubling up Gravenberg with his compatriot Van Dijk, the Dutchman, Curtis Jones and Kanate. Bit of a joke, isn't it? Fashion sense, supermodels. Maka and Soboslai in that line as well. Salah really was on the periphery, couldn't get past Mykolenko. Usually it's a game-winning condition, Salah against Mykolenko, but not on this occasion. Now, I'm going to show you on that streaming services big up. Okay, I want you all to make sure you join my channel as a member. I think with 100 people, it's all free. It's literally like subscribing to YouTube. Once you've subscribed to that, you'll see the post-match analysis where I can use the actual game footage, because unfortunately copyright strikes will hit me here if I use it on YouTube, but over there they have access to all of the clips from the Liverpool Everton game. So I will be doing actual annotations and analysis on the clips. Let me know, by the way, what time would suit you guys. Would it be like 12 o'clock lunchtime UK time? Maybe 1 p.m. lunchtime? Whatever suits you guys, I will try to do a live stream. Let me know in the comments below what time would suit you guys. But before we carry on this analysis as well, make sure to smash a like on this video. Really helps. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is a channel, Substance in Abundance.
The cream of the crop!
Also, as a thought experiment, I really wanted to analyze the metrics. Why we seem to get about 2,000, maybe 3,000 views per video, but why can we not hit the 5,000, 10,000 threshold? Why does YouTube stop sending it out? The only thing that I can think of is that on some of those videos to go, let's say, viral or semi-viral, in the comments, people reply to other people's comments. So it's like kind of threaded. Like on one person's big detailed response, someone replies and replies and replies, and they get like a 10, 15, 20 kind of chain of comments on individual comments. And there's quite a bunch of those. So just as a favor and a thought experiment, could you guys see if you can reply in line with valid feedback to other people's comments? Let's see if that gets the video seen more. Would be super nice, super helpful. Domogato gozaimasu. Really, really kind. Miyazaki Man Japan. Samurai Blue Ichiban. Look at the fire in his shirt. And we showed fine desire to win the Merseyside Derby 1-0 with a silkworm dribble by Jota. And we're going to look why some of the stats on Lucho Diaz is misleading as well. So the fact that Curtis Jones could play as a pseudo DM, right? Curtis Jones played there when England won the European Under-21 Championships at the Euros as well. Probably the best player in the park, the most mature player, the most comfortable in the ball. He really, really took the pressure off Gravenberch being man-marked and surrounded by the triangular formation, right? The tri-beam attack, the Dodrio Pokemon trifecta, triangular, triaged attack on Gravenberch. To have Curtis Jones in the mix as well, and obviously Maka can do the role as well, but he stayed high up, really gave us a basis to keep rotating the ball. Now, here's the first issue, right? And it's not with Curtis Jones. I think he put in a man-of-the-match performance. He even popped up on occasion here. He pops up in the 10. He supported Salah as well, and it's always available for the ball to recycle. A few very, very tasty balls. But the first potential negative, and it sounds like a positive, that we had control. Arne Slot's dominant, oppressive style of football in this kind of lineup gave us control. Szoboszlai was working between the lines laterally and horizontally. Maka was filling in this kind of triangle space, and Gravenberch was working the horizontals. Jones covered his position, covered the width, but also operated in this kind of circle here. We had so much control, moving the ball from side to side to side, not much to Salah, came back in, Szoboszlai to side to side to side, working our way up the pitch, you know, in this kind of movement here. Robbo had the freedom to bomb and really, really go up and down and help the flanks as well. For all that control, almost zero penetration. When Lucho Diaz was standing the man up, standing the man up, standing the man up, right? It came back. When he did try and go around the outside, round the outside, round the outside, and I've just got rid of Lucho Diaz. Luchito, let's call him Luchito. When he did go around the outside, he got tackled. Corner. Fair enough. Corner. It's progressive play, but we don't make the most of our set pieces. We don't score that many. Around the outside 2 or 3 times, tackled by O'Brien each and every time. The only time when we got some joy in and around the outside, and especially Robertson in and around the outside, when it was a pass to the through ball to get through for the pullbacks, and ultimately they were cleared as well away as well. Our wingers don't seem to be able to go around the outside or to beat a man, even when faced in this kind of position, more inside position, right? Where, let's clear that. Where, you know, you can drive or take the man on and drive, or take the man on and beat him, right? We don't have the beating of the man on the perpendicular run for the lack of acceleration. Now, even though Darwin Núñez is incredibly fast, he doesn't have the acceleration. Only a Szoboszlai seems to be able to beat the man in that acceleration, right? When you have that gap, go, my son. Get to the byline, We are so effective from the byline, really, really effective from the byline, especially when the fullbacks, Conor Bradley in particular, I'm thinking of, get to the byline. But we don't have that penetration. We just don't have that penetration as it is at the moment. And as a result, everything is played in front of the opposition where they can throw bodies in the way and crosses just get cleared as well, okay? For all the control, you almost might say that it's somewhat boring that we don't change the pace. Have you noticed when he's standing the man up, when Jota comes back to link up the play, we don't have that man going in and behind. We don't gamble on smacking the ball to him, relying with his back to goal, laying off, give and go. Because when we do, on occasion, go for those kind of attacks where we can build up with players on either side, 1-2, tick-attack, a flick around the corner, Firmino, flick around the corner. So Dennis Bergkamp, flick around the corner, or individual turn, right? Even Dimitar Berbatov on occasion, turning, Carlos Tevez turning, Rooney bumping a man off physicality and, you know, rampaging into the box. we don't play those risque balls because we don't have a target man who can hold it up like an Ibrahimovic or even a skillful little player like a Luis Suarez. You know, we don't have that particular player. Even, you know, your Juan Pablo Angel or your Crespo or Ortega, you know, those players who can hold up an Argentinian lineup, or the Claudio Lopez who goes in and behind as well. You can tell I'm very biased to Argentina in this particular example. We just don't have that. And we don't have the player who runs along that perpendicular side by side and able to hold the man off to get his presence into the box. Which means for all the control that we have and offensive press that we don't have the penetration, and it looks really, really awkward when we have the ball, and barely make a chance. In fact, of all the presentable chances that we had in that game, Beto, who hit the post because a Van Dijk missed skew clearance, had the best chance, apart from the actual goal that Jota scored. And by the way, that counts as an assist for Lucho Diaz, right? And, you know, amazing comeuppance. It came off Tarkowski, played it into Lucho Diaz, who did that fanciful flick into Jota, who beat the man, silkworm dribble, skillful jinx, wrong-footed Pickford, and slalomed it and hammered it home, right? That counts as an assist, but obviously Jota did the bulk of the work, and Tarkowski set Lucho Diaz up. There's a few calls to say that he was offside when the ball was played, which is true, but he made no motion to the ball. And the reason why it's not offside is because Tarkowski, I think it's Tarkowski because he's the one that deflected into Lucho, is not being hampered or interfered with by Lucho, because Lucho is behind him making no movement towards the ball, and he's not even aware of Lucho Diaz's presence, and therefore it can never be offside according to the current rules. So there's that as well. But going back to Curtis Jones, because we digressed just for a little bit, right? The fact that Curtis Jones adds an extra body in midfield really meant that we outnumbered the opposition in terms of the passes, and we allowed them to press our extra man, utilising Kelleher on occasion as well. And when the centre-back split, Kelleher can pass the ball into a Curtis Jones or Ryan Gravenberch, who are so assured with a touch, press resistant, with technicality as well, and we go from there. So the intelligent splitting of Van Dijk and Konate to give Kelleher the outballs and outnumbering them with our right back inverting into the base of midfield always allowed us an out, and look, straight away we outnumbered the midfield because basically we've got 5 there. When Konate and Van Dijk step up, literally they are in the line of the offside trap, which means Beto had to play incredibly high up, but still on occasion he hustled and bustled and got through twice. Yeah, the strategy looked great, but we don't have a cutting edge, we don't have ruthlessness because our wingers can't drive. If this was Anthony Gordon, I reckon we would have had 3 times as many chances, for the fact that his penetration, for his lack of maybe clever footwork and skill, even though he has a nice jink as well, jink dribble, his pace and direct nature would have got us more chances in that regard. Or hold-up player who can really street ball, right? You're thinking prime Luis Suarez, Carlos Tevez, even Sergio Aguero down the channels, Cavani down the channels as well, would have been very, very interesting to see because they had the acceleration as well. Salah just doesn't have the acceleration anymore. He's a wide playmaker, very effective wide playmaker, but it seems as though he's still off form as it is at the moment, so not completely reliable. And without, you know, that silky mercurial playmaker, because we have Szoboszlai as a hard-working pressing 10, it doesn't look that pretty. It really doesn't look that pretty. And that's something that Slot has got to resolve. Not this season, but next season. But at least this season until we can sew up the Premier League. Because as you fans rightly said, it's not over until it's over. Even though Arsenal have a less than 1% chance, according to the statistics. I think it's 0.2% chance. It ain't over until the fat lady sings. And is it Norwich's director or someone? I can't remember her name off the top of my head. You know who I'm talking about. Delilah or something. Delilah. Just came off the top of my head. Yes. Until we've actually sewn it up, then yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. Now, just before we get onto the referee, right? And the golden boy for me, the golden shiny Unchichi. Unchichi. Squeaks as well. Curtis Jones, man, that hooked clearance in our own box. He's got a mature head on him. He's really, really matured and got rid of those kind of selfish ego streaks in his team. Realized his importance. He is the Scouse heartbeat in the absence of Trent Alexander-Arnold. That hook clearance, what a highlight. What a player. That was a Premier League golden moment. In fact, in the entirety in the history of the Premier League, because Ashley Young actually delivered that ball thinking it would drop. Was it Broja? Broja absolutely wasted all opportunities, was constantly offside and looks way too heavy for the league at the moment. Anyway, yeah, Curtis Jones hooked it and cleared it away. But in terms of Premier League highlights, the best one's still got to be when that bird decided to shat in Ashley Young's mouth on the highlights. Like, homing missile. I can never forget that, by the way. Yeah, so Curtis Jones golden highlights. Now, the referee himself, he was a bit green, right? Given the Merseyside Derby, a feisty occasion, he completely lost the plot. That Tarkowski challenge, right? It had to be him as well. Full intent, full-blooded force, 2 feet off the ground, hit McAllister way above the shin. Should have been a leg breaker if McAllister's leg was planted as well. Hit him with intent. Look at his intent. Look at his dodgy face. He knew what he was doing. He was out to injure our lad. But it's this guy. Poor Tierney. Absolutely has it in for Liverpool, right? In the absence of David Coote, the buddies, the little PGMOL fraternity, unfortunately said. In the absence of David Coote, poor Tierney in VAR is an absolute recipe for Liverpool getting screwed over. He absolutely hates Liverpool with a passion. I know he hates Klopp as well, but, what can you say? And by the way, Klopp absolutely loved it when Van Dijk knocked over Tarkowski in the box. Treat him like a man-child, little doll. Pff, get out of the way. But yeah, Tierney in that box, that is absolute sacrilege. How can you justify that? He should be made accountable because that decision is filthy. Everyone on the first sight, Duncan Ferguson, all the pundits, even Mike Dean, former fraternity bro with their bromance there, they all said it was a red card. With all the angles and all the clips, right? It wasn't clumsy. It wasn't rash. It was with intent. It was dangerous. It was a leg breaker. And that was a guaranteed red card. Even before the days when if you win the ball, it was okay as well, and catch the ball, catch the man, etc. That is a guaranteed red card. And everyone knows it, especially when McAllister rolled over the ball and caught someone red carded last season. Curtis Jones rolled over the ball and tapped someone in the ankle, red carded. Was it against Tottenham for that one as well? That was nonsense, absolute nonsense. I'm so glad that McAllister, who's always in the war zones, by the way, and every time McAllister gets absolutely battered in a match, the ginger in the right lights, Messi light, Argentinian bromance right there, ginger nuts, hard as he like. He's proper hard nut as well. We win the game when McAllister gets battered. We usually do win the game. And that Nunes thing as well, where Nunes chased the ball after the whistle was blown, and Pickford cleaned him out. I was afraid of another Van Dijk incident with Pickford cleaning him out. And Nunes got the yellow card now. He did roll back on the pitch, but someone nudged him and pushed him to roll back on the pitch. I think it was only a Liverpool player as well. And he got a yellow card. But how did Pickford, it doesn't matter that the whistle's gone already. Anything off the ball deserving of a yellow card. And he just wellied him in the shin and done his own little spinneroonie Tatsumaki tornado. Tatsumaki means like hurricane tornado in Japanese. Yeah, Pickford, England's number one, gets away with it time and time again, as did Rooney, as did Harry Kane, as did Mr. Elbows, Alan Shearer as well. It's just some clear bias, and I don't really like to say it. But look, the result was all that matters at the end of the day. We got the 3 points. What is it? We have to lose something like 4 out of the next 7 games in order to be caught up by Arsenal. 4 games lost from Liverpool when we've only lost, a few this whole season. It's unrealistic, and that's counting for Arsenal winning everything. And in terms of transfers as well, Isak is another groin injury. Isak's never going to get over the groin injury, which is why splashing 100 million thereabouts, or even over that, it's a risky proposition, yo. I'd really much rather a robust 1 or 2 players who are top quality, get your Cunha and your João Pedro for the same price as Isak, right? What a strike pairing or, options in the squad that would be. Isak with a groin injury, he's never going to get over that because his body isn't really built for sustained long periods of time. I know Arne Slot's got good injury management under his faculties as well, but the way Isak plays with agility and jinking inside and changing directions, he's always going to get injured. So, yeah, what can you say? The referee, disgrace, makes you angry. Same as Michael Oliver playing on those extended minutes. So that was it Tarkowski who scored the equaliser in the Merseyside Derby? Was it 10, 12 minutes of added time? Michael Oliver there, but no. When you get poor Tierney in VAR, it's going to be a bad day if anything goes there as well. And the fact that Beto hit the post in perhaps the best chance of the game. I know Gravenberch scorched one across. Robbo had 1 or 2 shooting opportunities. Lucho Diaz had a shooting opportunity as well. But if that went in, the game would have been on an absolute knife edge because on a deficit, we usually come back quite strong, but our Arsenal Everton, these kind of teams have the dark arts of defending their box and penning people in and clearing it with physicality. So I'm so glad we managed to right the wrongs, get the fan base back on side. Anfield was in good vocal voice, by the way. And Endo, the cleaner, the closer, came on. Wataru Endo. Wataru Endo. Hope I can get an exclusive interview. Liverpool, grant me that interview, Endo. Also, Konate. I want to talk anime with him. Also, Soboslai, because he's Mushroom Boy Eito's favourite player. Yeah, in the preseason, I want to get out there, do exclusive vlogs, and hopefully get an exclusive interview or two as well. Be kind, Liverpool gods. Be kind, Fowler. Shame that Chiesa can't get any minutes after like his awesome performance in the cup final, scoring that goal, being clinical and clutch. Slot isn't giving him the moments when he really should do, because Mo Salah was on the periphery of the whole game. It's a shame to see. Couldn't even get on the ball, let alone create anything. And Luis Diaz was a mixed bag. So let's look at the statistic, right? So 1 assist, but Jota mainly created himself. Chances created 6, but I wouldn't say they're clear-cut chances. And that's proven by this big chance creation statistic 1. Successful dribbles 5 out of 6, but what did he actually do at the end of that dribble? There wasn't any end product. So by successful dribble, you might be meaning overlapping the line of the defender you're up against. Accurate long balls, 5 out of 5s, but long balls count, including switches of play across to an open man. So I don't remember any particularly significant crosses. Tackles 1 out of 2. He did come back and help out in that regard. Something he never shies away from, defensive duties. He really is a Mane in that regard, helping. Ground duels 8 out of 10. Hustling and busting, street balling. We need that to retain possession. And, you know, he's got fancy footwork, but doesn't really lead to the goal scoring opportunity. It's fancy footwork to get himself away from trouble to pass the ball backwards. Recoveries 4. Can't, discredit that. People need to get off Luis Diaz's back, because he's been a big part of why we've won the Premier League there or thereabouts this season. But he can be upgraded. I really, really honestly believe that as well. So it was a great performance from Lucho, but the end product isn't there, which is what counts as well. Once again, make sure to let me know in the comments below, what time would you like me to do the post-match analysis with the actual clips, running clips of Everton versus Liverpool, so I can do it frame by frame, clip by clip, and show you the key moments on Big Up. I'm going to put the link in the comments below as well. Make sure you sign up and just to the channel as a member. It's all free, by the way. It's just like subscribing to a YouTube channel, so that when I do go live, you guys can get involved and we can be interactive as well. And audience feature is really, really good, like Talk Sport, where you guys can come on and voice your opinions. You don't need to show camera. You can ask me any questions live. It doesn't even have to be about a particular topic or game. Happy to answer them as we go along. I'm always ad hoc, no script. And like Sky Sports, because we've got the analysis and the tools to show the highlights and the line and the movement, we can show transitions much more easy. I can bring up the Liverpool players, I can bring up the Everton players, and we can go from screen to screen, the tactics board and everything. So please do make sure you join me on Big Up as well. Smash a like on this video. Make sure to interact with other people's comments here. I really want to see if it helps get this video seen more. We're growing constantly. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you eternally. And big thanks to the newest member rejoining again, George Fitzgerald. You are the best right now. Totally boss tar, right? Good lad. Arigatou gozaimasu. Miyazaki Man Si. Join the Discord. We chat Liverpool 24/7 as well. We're going to have giveaways for these kind of shirts very, very soon. We're going to do some lucky wheels and raffles. So come chat with me. Until next time, have a great day. Peace. Janet.